Welcome back, everybody, to the Holistic Actions Monday webinars, where we walk with you all on this path to pet wellness, trying to find balance for us, our pets, and the planet. And this is our month about being a conscious pet parent, which means being aware of the interconnections of all life and our dogs as dogs and cats as cats and whole world around us. And it's my pleasure to introduce tonight's speaker, a trainer, author of the Enlightened. Well, I'll let Jesse introduce himself. So, speaker for tonight is coming from Canada, and Jesse, why don't you take the stage?
Hi, Jeff, and everybody. This is an honor for me to be able to share my passion with everybody. And the way that I would like to do this is just to invite everyone to feel free to, have a Q&A during the actual conversation. Um, if you're on mute, just unmute it and just ask a question and fire away. Um, this is a book that I wrote pre-COVID, during COVID. It's How Jeff Found Me. It is really just a work of mindfulness. Um, and the ideas that I present in it are very simple and they just sort of expand on it. And here's the premise. Your pet, I mean, it's for dogs, but this is going to apply to horses and to cats and to non-domesticated animals and to humans in their unconsciousness. And in the background, I got a puppy chasing a kitten, so we'll flow with that. All right, so the premise is that animals do not have an ego. They do not have language constructs in their minds, and they're not thinking about anything that's happening projected into the future or anything that has happened in the past. That's a very much a human construct. The pets are totally present moment beings. And what fascinates me so much is that they all have the exact same components of a nonverbal language. The premise of their language, and this is based in nature, and as I get into it, I hope your mind is like, oh, okay, yeah, I know what he's talking about. The premise is that actions generate emotions, and Mother Nature doesn't want to fight itself. So, no animals really are looking to engage in any kind of confrontation in a toxic way. They go into confrontation, and the language of the confrontational energy is a direct, non blinking eye contact stare. You might feel really uncomfortable when at a bar and somebody is staring at you, or getting on a bus and a stranger gets up and stares you down. That feeling I refer to as contrast, and that contrast is emotional contrast. It's there to send a message. And animals, I'm saying from the framework of animals, and animals send that message on purpose. I'm going to park that and get into what calming signals are. We're going to come back to that. I call that direct angle, by the way, in my book, the forbidden angle. Okay. It's not really forbidden to use, it's actually really powerful to use. And we're going to get into that. But before we get into that, I want to talk a lot about calming signals, because what's really popular right now is the trust technique. Has anybody heard of the trust technique? You can Google the trust technique or YouTube it, but it's you'll see, I mean, your phone
It's
and
awesome.
laptop, yeah,
Yeah,
your
it's
phone and laptop are spying on you, and you're going to see ads about it. But basically, it's like operating from the framework of giving the animal calming signals. Now, calming signals, just pop up a little diagram here. And if you're interested in this diagram, we'll send it to you. Okay. Basically, it's like 15 different gestures that animals make, that dogs make. a blinking of the eyes, a looking away from the direct eye contact, a showing of the side body, lowering the body lower to the ground, moving the body further away from the object that's looking at it, lining up with the object in a non-direct angle. So there's all kinds of a wiggle of the ear, a shake of the body. All of these are actions that generate the emotion of calming energy. It's a relaxation response. And who is it relaxing? It's relaxing the animal itself. It's relaxing the pack itself. Maybe you have observed that when somebody yawns in the room, you can't help but find yourself yawning. A yawn is also a calming signal. So these actions generate emotions for the pack as a whole. Animals don't have this sense of me, but they have a very strong sense of we. The more that I get into this, the more that I study this, and this is my life's work for the last 15 years, the more I see that this is never not happening. 99.5% of the time, your pet is existing at an angle that is offering a calming energy to not you, but you and everything else that's in the room. So when you start to tune in, homework assignment number one, ground yourself, meditate, be aware of these signals, study them, because as you start to tune into this, you start to get concrete information about how your dog is feeling and how your dog is trying to tell you it's feeling. Let's talk a little bit about feelings because the human being has access to all kinds of flavors of feelings and we have names for all of them, but your pet is an empath and can feel what you're feeling. Yeah, I would say that the way that they understand feelings is a lot simpler. Yeah, I I focus on four different kinds of feelings when I'm training dogs. There's a pleasure bucket. So there's joy, there is love, there is happy. I mean, all animals are going to feel that stuff. And those feelings, when you generate them on purpose, are positive reinforcers. And when you generate them not on purpose, unconsciously, you're also positively reinforcing the behavior or the emotion that your dog or pet is experiencing in the present moment. So here's a classic example. You come home from a long day of work, you're coming into your territory, and I like to use the word territory because I feel that that's how your animal perceives your home. And you come into your territory not like the provider and the protector of the territory. You just come into it like a human being and you've had a hard day and you're like, ah, and you're showering joy and excitement at your dog because not really thinking about it, but that's how your dog is making you feel. And that has a mirror effect of praising your dog for being excited and jumping and scratching you and probably just not being calm. So that's one bucket, the positive reinforcer feelings. Then you've got the neutral bucket. The neutral bucket is calm, it's tranquility, it is the flavor of Mother Nature. And that is really the feeling that I believe heals your pet's anxiety and neuroses, is keeping your pet in that vibration. Because an anxious dog or a reactive dog or a fear-based dog is just acting out their feelings. So to bring your animal healing or to heal a reactive dog or to train a reactive dog, you have to be able to lead your dog from that vibration as a baseline. Another bucket, the third bucket. So we've got the positive reinforcer bucket, which is pleasant emotions. We've got the tranquility bucket, which most people don't get. So you have to be a meditator to tap into that. That's the flow state. Then you've got fear. And fear is a very powerful emotion, and humans do not like it. Humans avoid that emotion at all costs, but a wise person doesn't avoid it because there's so much growth in it. There's so much spiritual growth. There's so much expansion and wisdom in that because that emotion is trying to communicate to you a lesson. And this is what I love about this secret language is that animals will go into that forbidden angle out of love and wisdom. They will do it, a mother will do it to protect her young. Um, when there's a resource guarding situation, um, they're using that angle. And what I mean by that, a resource guarding in a healthy way would be, this is my cave, get out of here, or we're gonna have a problem. And now what's cool about that is no, we don't have a problem. The response is going to be blink, blink, look away. It's going to offer a calming signal. And when the calming signal is received by the projector of that angle, then there's a lot of etiquette. Okay, good, no problem. So this, yes, Christine, question? We're yawning. I thought I saw someone's hand go up.
I
Okay,
think she was just looking at your kitty.
okay.
Hmm.
Um, okay, so we've got these buckets and we've got these calming signals. So Jeff, can we pull up onto the screen?
Yeah, and before we do, Jesse, Sue was wondering and whether we're talking about yawning as a coming signal, and she wanted to know, isn't yawning a sign of stress?
Oh, yeah, perfect, perfect. Okay, so when a yawn is a calming signal, and a calming signal can be given off as a sign of stress. Let's kind of jump around here. There's three reasons I believe why a calming signal would be offered. The first would be I'm calming myself down. Whew. The second would be you're doing something that's aggressive and I'm calming you down. But you might see them raise the paw. That's also a calming signal. And they're checking, they're side eye watching, okay? Because they're trying to de escalate. The third reason is a signal to the pack. That's something where it's like coyotes outside and they're giving a signal to alert the pack. Or domestic situation, there's a subway going by and one animal catches it and they alert the pack. So, absolutely. The yawn is the action is generating the emotion of calming down the collective energy of which animals understand they are a part of. Does that make sense? Okay. So, Jeff, I've never shared a document on a Zoom call before, so Jeff's going to help me out, and he's going to pull
Okay.
up a little document that I've created.
And would you want to start from the beginning, or because I have pulled up right now is
But yeah,
what
like
do I have pulled up here? Up, I have the
let's jump, let's jump,
feeling is
let's just jump to this one because I
okay.
already showed that.
All right, jump to that
Let's get
one.
into this one a little
All
bit.
right, let's see if I can find it. Okay, I think I've got it up, and I think this will work, but we'll see. Um, okay, so there's that. And can you see that?
All right, so yeah, I can see it. Thank you for doing
And
that.
make it bigger.
Sure,
See if I can do that.
sure. So this is just sort of reframing what I opened up with is that dogs are never not making these signals, and you are very wise to when you're working with your dog, training your dog or existing with your cat because these are the same as cats. All animals do these. They're nuanced. They're nuanced between species. But what I'm going to do is just start with the full body shake and just sort of go through them one by one clockwise. Okay. When we see an animal do a full body shake, that is a fast way for them to eliminate whatever energy they just experienced. So maybe you've got a quote unquote dog lover who is high energy and they're coming in and they're petting your dog really aggressively. As soon as that person takes one step away, that dog is shaking that energy off their back like water off a duck's back. Present moment, they want to get right back into harmony. To the right of that, we've got the turning away or the turning of the head. Simply put, the dog is breaking the forbidden angle. So in this scenario, this dog is responding to a direct eye contact hold. And what's interesting is that now I'm going to get into a little bit of the forbidden angle, and you're going to understand how this angle works as a dialogue with these calming signals. If you're coming down the sidewalk, which is a straight line, which is an extension of the strike, the direct eye contact angle, and there's another dog walking towards you, you will often see the older, more social, more graceful, very good etiquette dogs doing what I call the fake sniff. That's where, like, all of a sudden they just stop and they're doing this. Such a savvy move because they're de-escalating the puppy that's coming right at them. And they're just basically putting themselves in a vulnerable position. Actually, many of these calming signals are putting the animal in their own vulnerable position, which I just absolutely love that that's what they're doing. That builds trust and confidence with the other animals that they're communicating with. Okay. Moving down clockwise, we've got averting the eyes. That's simply just doing like a side eye, or like a break of the eye contact. This is a less trusting version than the first one. So the first one, you'll see that from a distance or from an older, more socialized dog. The averting the eye contact, there's a little bit of distrust in there. They're breaking the angle to de-escalate the dog that's looking at them or the human, but they don't trust it. Okay. The licking of the lips, that's more of an offensive move. That's like, hey, you're interpreting me as being aggressive, so don't worry. I'm not being aggressive. That's what it means. The bow is obviously a breaking of the eye contact angle, but it's saying, let's play. Um, Clockwise, you see just a little dotted line saying walking slow. Think about this. If a stranger is looking at you and they are not blinking, you feel that contrast. What happens if they walk at you really fast? That's turning up the volume of the confrontational energy. These nuances are so subtle, but all dogs feel them. And this is such a crucial what's happening, Jeff?
Yep, sorry, I don't know why I did that. Up,
There
good.
we go. So the speed, remember I told you that your animals will go into this angle for righteous purposes. Righteousness is self-justice, self-love, um, non-toxic. That's the framework that they're doing it in if they're socialized. So they will play with the speed. They will come really slow if they're sizing it up, but they're not sure if they're going to be the dominant one or the submissive one. So that's a way that they jockey for the power way before the confrontation. Clockwise to that, we've got the paw raised. Uh, I call this magic paw. I see this all the time. You might see this with your dog laying down and the paw curled. Okay. Think of that as similar to the lip lick. It's basically a on purpose de-escalator all the time. Your dog will do this sometimes if it thinks it's getting in trouble from you. Basically, he's saying, check your mood and chill out. The next two are interesting, sitting down and laying down. Um, I like to think of four positions that move together on a string, and these four positions I refer to as the sequence of surrendering. So, um, moving around, like walking around and then coming into a standing still position offers a lot of information. The dog is calm, and then from there, it will naturally sit down. It's calming further. Then from there, it will lay down with its head up. Laying down is totally vulnerable. Sitting down is kind of vulnerable, but ready to pounce. So when you're working on your stay commands, you want to work on them from a lay down. Laying down has the belly grounding with the earth. It's harder to get up. It's also faster for them to calm down right into that tranquil vibe. A lot of the times when dogs are sitting there, so it's not tranquil. And that's the vibe that you want to be working with to have an awesome dog. So standing, sitting down, we see that picture, and then laying down, those two move on a string. There's actually another one that's not here, which is laying down with the chin right on the ground. That's fully grounded energy. We've talked about the yawning. We've talked about the sniffing, the fake sniffing, I call, because they're not actually sniffing, they're side eye watching. And then we've got the scratching. I believe that when we see the scratching coming up in dogs, it's similar to like a human doing this. It's like an anxious reaction. Do you ever see your dog scratching like that? Just notice if something in the environment changed, if the energy in the environment changed, if the energy of the TV changed, if something is different. Because all of these calming signals mean nothing if you're not going to take the role in the relationship as being the protector and provider for your pack, protector of their tranquility, provider of their education, provider of the rules that are going to keep them and you safe. All right. So, all of these signals, you have to discern which of the three meanings they are offering you. They're not that hard to do. Is it your dog wants to calm down? Is it it's telling me to calm down? Or is it there's an environmental stressor? Okay. Jeff, thank you for that. Can we advance the slide? Let's just see what's on here. Okay, so we can just quickly scroll through this. I'm going to send this to everyone. This is just a different matrix. Let's scroll again. Can we maybe go to the number 2? Or what was the one that had the one that had the buckets of the emotions? We'll just cover that one. Yeah, yeah. Okay, perfect. So you guys can obviously read, but love, tranquility, and fear are the major feelings that you in the role that you're taking, um, that your pet wants you to take. These are the emotions that they understand. So uh, you want to be authentic with your dog. You want to make sure that your actions are lining up with your feelings. You don't want to be stressed out or frustrated or angry when you're working with your dog because they're going to misunderstand your stress as the pack there's something going on and my owner's stressed out and they're going to start behaving in a way that responds to your feelings, um, and it's a little bit murky. So this is just the four feelings that I think dogs feel. Love, which is that joyous one that reinforces everything. Calmness, which is the vibe that nature wants to exist in. So fear, which is the forbidden angle to the dog, if it's delivered from a place of calm, is going to tell your dog, it's like the no button. It's going to tell your dog, stop doing whatever you're doing. I talked a little bit about that sequence of surrendering, which is standing still, sitting down, laying down, and putting the chin down. So when you have a relationship with your dog where they understand that you're teaching them how to make good decisions, that you're tuned into their feelings, that you're using calming signals back with them, and that do not abuse the forbidden angle, meaning you don't love gaze at them all day long and um, send love and fear at the same time. You only use it with calmness. Then they understand that now you're giving them a like a directive. And what they will do all of the time when you do this is they will move backwards, they will stand still, they will sit down, they will lay down, and they will put their chin down. And these are different stages. These four stages are different stages of what they're experiencing in their emotional bodies. So laying down with the chin down doesn't mean they're sad. It means they are totally one with Mother Earth. And I like to emphasize that because then you're not guessing or projecting, you know, your baggage into what you think your dog is feeling. And stress, which I've put here in red, is this is not a natural emotion in nature. And this, if this persists, this is the root cause of a lot of behavioral and health issues in our pets. Okay, that's the presentation on the document. Thank you, Jeff. Let's flip it back so I can see your faces because I haven't seen anybody's faces and I've got a big bright white light
And
behind my laptop shining in. And
can you see it now?
yeah, I got everybody.
Buddy, all right,
Um,
awesome.
let's, I'm inviting you guys now to dialogue back with me and flip your mics on and start asking me some questions about how, if you had any, and maybe some Q&A about some things about your pets. I'm open to that as well.
So Sue rude. So raising a paw by a submissive dog is also a coming signal. Do you mean Sue? Sue, you can unmute yourself if you'd like, 'cause I'm
Sue,
not
Sue just asked me.
sure.
No?
Nope, nope. She's either got no mic or yep.
All right. So,
I have a question. I'm Sid. I don't, my image is not up there, okay? My video's not on Jesse. Thank you. Yeah, I've been wanting to buy your book. I got the audio one, but
cool.
it sounds so yummy. I've been kind of setting it aside and saving it. So
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna give you a little background because it's a little bit more involved. So I've had my young, probably two or maybe even a little bit younger. He could be a pure Westie for 6 months exactly. And he's been amazing. He was very skittish and standoffish and scared of everything. It was a stray shelter rescue. And he's really come a long ways. So he was a flight risk and,
Yeah.
just skittish. I don't think he was walked before
Yeah.
outdoors. And thank God I live in kind of a semi-rural setting, not like a city and stuff, because and he's learned, behaviors, training, right? Quickly and stuff. But here's the thing that's kind of evolved that I'd like to get your insight on. So I think it might have kind of started with, unfortunately, there are some people who insist on walking their dogs unleashed.
Mm,
And it wasn't an outright aggressive encounter as we're just walking about and minding our own business.
yeah.
But he's always on leash outside.
Yeah.
And this was kind of a regular thing that happened after these kind of summer bird neighbors returned. That, we had peace and calm, thank God, for like 4 months. And then suddenly every time, you know, it was initially just out of the blue surprise because I didn't know that this was going to be happening. The dog would kind of approach in threatening and, bark, 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 that deep lab, not greeting bark, but kind of more
Sit,
like
sit, sit.
questioning, threatening. Yeah.
What can Jesse answer for you?
So the deal now is from being skittish and afraid of everything, he is very curious and demands to meet like delivery drivers, people getting in and out of their car, other dogs, like dragging me. I want to break him of the expectation that he has the right to go and drag me to meet everybody because I want him to be social and meet, but I also want him to learn.
That's a false belief. So, and there's so much info here that I'm just gonna
Right.
I'm just gonna color this in. Okay. Um, you would never want your kid to run up and meet every single
No,
person.
I don't want. That's what I want to break.
Yeah, okay. So
I don't like being dragged.
he's most likely received a positive reinforcer from those people. Oh, they pet him when he jumps up on them, let's just say. Okay. So what you want to work with here is the social etiquette would be because just pretend your dog was like a super scary guard dog, and you would want him to behave in a way where everybody would feel at ease with him. So there's going to be a distance. Let's say it's 20 feet. Let's say it's 30 feet. Let's say it's 5 feet. It's going to be different based on whatever the object that is stimulating him is. There's going to be a distance where he's going to shift from the leash being loose in a J shape to the leash being taut. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
that's exactly right.
okay. So
And I
that's
don't want his motivation reward is supposed to be sitting and waiting for permission.
well, let's rewire that. Let's rewire that because let's let him be an individual and make a good choice. It's easier to train that way. And let's just say, what's his name? Just for fun.
Mr. Darcy.
Okay. Let's just say Darcy. Um, my expectation of you, Darcy, is that you stand and move with me wherever we go while we're leashed in a J-shaped leash. Because when the shape of the leash is in J, he's actually paying attention to you.
Well, see,
And
that's what I've been trying to
okay,
accomplish. And he does that really well until he sees the stimuli.
right. So when, here's a if he's food motivated, and if you're right on cue, if you're right on cue when the leash gets taut, then you want to move away from the magnet. Okay. Stand on the leash and put a few pieces of kibble on the ground at an angle where he has to turn his head and offer that object a calming signal. He'll scoop that up. Do it without talking to him. Don't add any flavor to the experience. Is this making sense?
It's a good idea. See, I wear little
You're
treat
probably
thingies on the
way
side.
too, probably way too. Oh, all right. Also,
I mean, I haven't dropped him. I mean, I've tried throwing him ahead, like doing the distraction approach.
no,
And
that's
um,
that's never going to work because he's not going to cognize and process the emotion of excitement. When you're distracting him for being excited, you're not dealing with his ability, you're not dealing with his emotional intelligence. Also, it's a fear-based approach. You're afraid to let him feel that excitement. What we want to do is stand far enough away so that we're just behind that edge, that limit line, that invisible line where his leash is going to start tugging. And we want him to stand there and go through the sequence of surrendering. We want him to stand still, and it's going to look like this. A tree,
right,
a tree, a tree. Okay.
choosing.
Choosing. And you can help him by just touching his bum and have him sit. He'll pop up, he'll go down. If you stay there, and most people don't have the patience for this. And that's because I think people believe that they should be walking their dog from A to B and get the 20-minute walk in and check the box. Not how I do things.
No.
The way that I do things is, okay, Darcy, this leash is going to be in J shape 90% of the time for the next 20 minutes, and I don't care where we go. That's what my focus is. That's what my meditation is when I do the leash. Also, just to set this up for you, that's not like I'm not doing this when my dog's in a high energy mood. I'm doing this when my dog's in a low energy mood. I'm playing flirt pole tug of war with Darcy. Uh,
Right.
basically
We do that.
I'm doing a gym class with him, and then after the gym class, I'm doing leash work. just a basic exercise that is so beneficial for all puppies, all reactive dogs, is learning to stand still in the J shape and not pull the owner, which means you have to catch yourself because, and I'm not singling you out because everybody does this. Everybody, when the dog puts tension on the leash, they positively reinforce that to the dog by following because they don't want to hurt the dog's neck.
I stop. I just pause
Yeah.
and I kind of drop my arm. And he's learned very quickly that it's just that this one thing has evolved,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
so desperate, and it's heartbreaking in a way because I don't want to reinforce a reward of, yeah, okay, it's so good that you've gotten all your confidence now and everything and you're Mr. Social, because I know he has a
That's
strong
false,
internal social
that's
butterfly.
that's false confidence. Okay.
Yeah.
That's dominant behavior. That's
I think
dominant.
he's apprehensive too.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
when they bark in his face, then his feelings get hurt very easily.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
With
I'm
encounter.
just gonna jump in here. I think,
Yeah.
Sid, you know exactly what to do, but it's time to apply patience and perseverance.
I
No, what's time to apply is the leash being put on with the foot. That's the one thing I haven't done. And put the food right inside of him.
I'm
I'll
gonna
try that.
just for everybody here, if you've ever seen my website, I offer a free 15-minute video consult. I'm happy to go into more depth with you
Oh,
on.
fantastic. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
Welcome.
Sid. And July
Okay,
has a
so we have some other questions I'm just noticing on the type that.
yeah,
Oh,
you can see the chat.
okay, so yawning is let's talk about the yawning one. Yawning is a response to stress, but remember the stress could be coming from three places. It could be coming from another animal in the pack, including the owner. It could be within from the dog. The dog could be trying to release their own stress. They experience something and they're releasing that stress, or it could be as a signal from a mature dog. Calm down, bro. Often what I'll do as a trainer when I'm training, let's say I'm training Darcy and I'm the guy with the leash. I'm going to find that edge really fast and I'm going to make the confrontational angle at him the minute he does something inappropriate. And then when he stresses from that, I'm going to go, calm down, bro. It's okay. Then I'm going to put the Kong with the peanut butter on the ground and he's going to lick that Kong while whatever is stressing him out is right there. And then as he nails that really good, because it's going to show, because he's going to be this is not a pretty process, you guys. When they're releasing their strong emotional anxieties, it's loud and it's ugly because it doesn't feel good for them. When it comes out of them, and this is where you want to really be like grandma loving energy, father coach energy, not boop, boop, boop energy. You want to be with them through the experience to give them experiential wisdom. So after he's emoting and he's shaking it, but he's not running because the leash is in J shape, we're going to build more confidence by not going at that in a straight line. We're going to go at it off of the straight line, off of the straight line, off of the straight line. And then we're going to let whatever he wanted to see be the actual positive reinforcer. Oh, good boy, Darcy. The mailman gets to say good boy and get, oh, no, you're jumping. No, no treat. That makes sense? So I talked about the yawn. I just gave an example there about Darcy just to wrap that up. What about laying down and exposing the belly? There's a couple of different styles of this, okay? You got Rosie the Doodle, who I'm boarding and training, who doesn't want to go out at 6 in the morning because she's not used to going out until 9:30 in the morning. So when I go to put the leash on her, she does this. Okay? What do you think she's saying there? She's saying, no, please don't make me go. Don't force me to go. Please, I'm not fighting you. It's peaceful surrender. It's peaceful submission. Then you've got the scenario where 4-month-old little puppy's meeting my 100-pound guard dog for the first time, and he's never had his junk sniffed before, and Bubba's like, bro, I'm sniffing it. And finally he goes, okay, okay, okay. So it's a squirmy, wiggly one. They kind of they're kind of meant to de-escalate the aggressor. But whether it's really aggressive is up for interpretation. That's how I feel about that. Okay. Julie, I have a question about navigating two doors who I need to communicate. Oh, two dogs who I need to oh, I love this. This is what's cool about being the peaceful alpha is it does not matter if there's one dog or 15 dogs. They all watch you. They all watch you all the time. So,
Jesse, can I ask the question? Because
yeah,
it's not really written. Sorry. So is that okay?
please.
Jesse, it's July asking.
Sorry. Yeah,
So
my name's July.
July's just
Hi, July. Sorry.
Okay. So my big thing is that I have a blind dog, mostly blind dog, who I've had for about a year and a half. My other dog has not accepted him well. I have worked with a trainer with a lot of positive reinforcement to get him to have more calming effect, and that's been great.
To get
But
the
the other
dog to have a calming effect or get the other dog?
or the blind dog to be more calm because he came really anxious. But my other dog is very anxious,
Yeah.
runs at him, but I don't think he can always like the other dog. And there's a huge size difference, but I don't think the other dog who's not blind always trusts, right? Because the blind dog can't really see
Okay.
what he's doing. Like, how do I navigate? And because he's the one starting the problems, is the not blind one. But
you know what? This is where my technique gets results, but it's also controversial. But when I frame it this way, because positive reinforcement is a little bit BS because there's no switch. It's only yes switch. Okay. So I think what you're asking is, okay, the blind dog is stressed out because the non-blind dog is creating mischief around it. Is that fair?
no, the non-blind dog is who has been is my resident dog was stressed out when the blind dog came into and it's because he was acting erratic. I've calmed that erratic behavior from the blind dog,
All
but the
right.
other dog is now, and they have to be separated because the little dog, he's 25 pounds and he will attack the 75-pound dog and could get himself.
The blind one,
The
75?
yeah.
All right. So blindness is not as big of a weakness to dogs as it is to humans. They have unbelievable perception, scent, vibration, sound. Neither of these dogs in your pack this is not a calm, balanced pack. So the way that I achieve a calm, balanced pack is by taking the role of the father figure or the queen. And basically what I'm looking at when I'm looking at the pack is who is offering the calming signal first to the other dog, because both dogs are not responding to their calming signals, which means it's my opportunity as the empath to feel who's stressed first and then correct the one that's creating the stress. You would be amazed at the results that you get when you do that, because it's not like it's not like the 25-pound dog is going out of his way to pick on the 75-pound dog. It's that there's an absence of a sheriff. They don't perceive you as the sheriff. And I encourage you to take me up on the 15-minute because there's two super fast ways to become the sheriff. You control the flow of the resources and you protect the front door and the windows of the territory. Those two things are the resources and the safety. And there's a couple of exercises where I talk about these in my book a lot, where you actually go into a confrontation. You go into an exercise where you do a confrontation with both dogs. With the blind dog, you might need to squirt it with a little water gun or have a little noise that you make that means go through the sequence of surrendering, bro. And as he starts going through it, you're going to start flavoring that with a reinforcer of love, calm love. The comprehension that they feel when this goes on is mind-bogglingly elegant. Okay. They are like, it's like, whoa, we have harmony. They have been waiting for you to do this. And I'm not singling you out. This is every owner. This is every household. This is me when I have 8 dogs that I'm boarding and a kitten. I feed them all at the exact same time in the same room on the same floor, and I police it. I put the food down first. Nobody touches it. Everybody has to retreat from it. Whoever is calm, I'm praising them lovingly. They're learning from that. You can use tools to help you do this. You can keep the bully on a leash. You can restrain him. So you go through a couple of exercises where you are literally coaching the pack that you have their backs. And you are so lucid and in the moment that you are tuned into who is calming. And when they're not in a state of calming signals, it's obvious they are staring, unblinking at something. Red flag city. As soon as that hits, they are not feeling an emotion of calm joy or tranquility. They are feeling a heightened emotion that is not pleasant. And this happens way before the confrontation. So I'm happy. Is this kind of at like a general level kind of making sense? Does that make sense?
Are you there,
Sorry,
Paul?
yes. Sorry, I was giving thumbs up.
Oh,
But
I only
you might
have,
not be able to see me, so sorry. Yeah, thank
hold
you.
on. I don't even know who I'm looking at there. Okay. Okay. Is there other questions?
Yeah, I think Ruth has her hand raised.
Yes, please. Thank you. Very quickly, tomorrow I am meeting a transport, picking up a dog that finally was released from its hold in a rural kill shelter. It's a 3-hour drive to get up here. So it's a young dog. That's all I know. A female, probably a year, that a trooper saved from the median strip on a highway and took it to this shelter. So my rescue group has stepped in now that it's going to come to us. Tomorrow morning, it's going to a vet down there, and I know exactly what's going to happen. It's going to get a rabies shot and every other shot that they think this dog needs, even if it maybe had one recently. I'm going to be bringing it back to my house. I'm in Virginia. It's very cold, icy. I can't take my dogs outside at night to walk them to introduce the 3 dogs together, walking together. So I have to bring this new little critter. She's only about 10 pounds into the house.
Okay.
She's going to be terrified, and I need to know what I can do.
I'm going to
by
walk you through
calling
this.
signals. Yes, thank you.
Okay. There's also a chapter in my book about this.
I have your book.
Okay.
Which chapter?
It's the one where they adopt that little.
Okay, all right. I'll go and reread it.
Do you have crates for the other 2 dogs?
Yes.
All right.
And I have one for the new dog too.
Beautiful. All right. Do you have a helper at home, or are you going to be okay? So
2 cats who help sometimes.
All right. The moment of truth is bringing the dog through the front crack of the door. All right. So from that moment on, you want to have the environment safe. What I would do if it was me and I did not trust the dogs, you can see there's a little action in the back here, is I would have the 2 crates set up. I would give those my 2 dogs the full day. I would give them the workout. I would give them the meals. Actually, I would not give them all the meals. I would leave one meal open. And I would just make sure that they are well taken care of. And then I would crate them.
They like
And
their crates because they get treats when they go in the crate.
great. I would have the crates. I don't know what your house looks like, but it's nice if the crate can be seen when you walk through the door. Okay. Let's just assume that you can. That's how I would have it set up. And I would have blankets halfway down the front. So if those dogs want to see what's coming on through the front door, they have to be laying down. Okay. That's a calming signal. That is a gesture of peace and welcome. Even if they're excited, it's still okay. And you're going to get a lot of information because if they're not laying down and they're, that's not appropriate to meet. Okay. I would have the other crate for the new dog facing the two. Okay. I would bring the new dog in on leash and I would let the new dog do an environment perimeter walk. That's a green flag. If the dog comes in and starts going around the environment, green flag. Feel safe, curious. If not, I'm tuning in. Where's he going? What's he doing? Is he sticking right near me? Is he sticking behind me? Is he standing between my legs? And I'm watching his body and his breathing. Is he walking slowly? Green flag. Is he shaking? Red flag. So I am going to help him calm down by walking him around the perimeter on leash. I'm going to walk. If he wants to go right up to the crates, great. Let him go right up. Watch him when he goes up. Is he going in a straight line or is he coming up and doing a side? Pat pulled this off the shelf for the puppy. They're like a tag team. I'm collecting a ton of information about the new dog as he's responding to my existing dogs. Meanwhile, I'm watching my existing dogs. How are they responding? If they're laying down, green flag. Even if they're sitting or standing, but they're calm, green flag. If they're chomping to get out, red flag. They can actually bond. The beginning of the bonding can happen that way. Okay. Then I'm putting new dog in his crate and I'm letting out
The other two.
the
Oh,
calmer.
one. Oh, the calmest one. Okay.
Okay. Then I'm using some treats and I'm saying to the new one, sit. And I'm doing a little show. I'm putting him back in and bringing out the other one separately, doing a little, putting him back in, then I'm bringing out, now I'm creating them again and I'm bringing out the new one, having him do a sit. So you kind of do that.
By the way, this is a foster. I'm not supposed to adopt this one. So
Okay, well, he'll be yours in 15 minutes.
no.
Why?
I can't afford another foster fail. So
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
curious how that goes.
yeah. Thank you. These are helpful tips because I wasn't sure how I was going to approach the introductions, and this is giving me some good ideas.
Sure. And a final tip that you could do when you have all three out and it's sort of the moment of truth, scatter about 20 treats all over the ground.
Okay. I have a snuffle mat. Would that suffice, or I need a bigger area?
No,
Bigger area.
nothing to compete over.
Okay. Okay.
And I would have them leashed in case there's something that goes down, you can pull away.
Okay.
Or like a
This
little.
one is supposedly was really shut down and terrified in the shelter. So the whole time was 5 days. So we'll see.
Yeah. Do it nice and slow.
Okay. Thank you.
Pleasure. Okay, we got a new question here.
Yeah, we're gonna need to wrap it up soon, but it looks like Sid had one last question.
Thank you,
I
Christine.
think maybe yes, and I agree with you, Christine. How about you was us sharing a success story about basically your approach how it worked so well with all 7 dogs walking together. So thank you, Lynn. And I will be booking that 50 minutes to figure out about
Sure.
how to get this pup of mine who's in constant stress out of stress. So I think, Jesse, I'm doing all the things you said.
Good.
There's got to be more. Ruth, what treat do you use in the crate for your dogs?
Oh, I have freeze-dried pork heart or things like that. Yes, those are high value for them. For the snuffle mat, I use Charlie Bears because they're inexpensive.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Well, Jesse, thank you. Ruth, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming. And we will see you for Hannah's webinar next week about conscious pet parenting during life and afterlife and how you can connect the two. So, Jesse, thanks again for your time. Really
My pleasure.
appreciate it. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you,
See you
everyone.
next week. All right. Bye bye.